Megan Rapinoe has basically been, since 2016, doing the Colin Kaepernick routine, getting famous off the radical left social justice stuff that she has been pushing. And that's the reason why she's really being celebrated today. Not because she's a terrific soccer player, which she apparently is, but because she is an outspoken lesbian, because she is a very outspoken SJW on so-called equal pay issues, even though, again, she's not really stumping for equal pay. She's stumping for disproportionate pay for women on the basis of media coverage, effectively. And she has become this sort of obnoxious advocate for her position. The reason I call it obnoxious is because, I'm sorry, but if you go to University of Portland on scholarship for women's soccer and then you're whining about this country, shut up. Hey, really, this is a pretty great country when you get to go to college for free, because not only do you kick a ball, you kick a ball in a sport people pretend to care about once every 4 years. Like, when I say shut up, by the way, I don't mean that she should be made to be quiet. She can talk as much as she wants. I'm just saying it's obnoxious. Because guess what? It is obnoxious. When she's kneeling for the national anthem in a country that is celebrating her as a heroine, she's getting paid millions of dollars to make ads for Nike about how she is a lesbian and outspoken and a soccer player. It seems to me she should be sort of grateful for the country that makes all that possible. It seems to me you should be pretty happy about the country, not sitting back and talking about how terrible the country is all the time. More than that, Rapinoe demonstrates an obvious unwillingness to even talk with anybody on the other side of the aisle. Now, before people say, well, why would she talk with you? You're criticizing her. Right, I'm criticizing her specifically because she has evidenced no desire to have a conversation of any merit or substance on these issues. Instead, she appears on media outlets that drool over her and ask her silly, stupid questions and allow her to get away with silly, stupid answers. So I want to give you a couple of examples of how Megan Rapinoe is being treated and how she says dumb things on a regular basis, and nobody calls her out on it because, again, her intersectional credentials are in order, because even though she grew up, from what I understand, middle to upper class, right? I mean, she was playing soccer from the time she was 5 years old. She went to, I believe, a private high school. I'm not sure. She went to, I know that she was playing on the junior soccer circuit and all of this. She's lived a pretty good life in the United States. I think it's fair to say. Megan Rapinoe has lived a pretty good life in the United States. Still, she talks about how America is really, really a bad place. And then she also suggested that she didn't want to meet with people. I mean, it was really amazing. She said she did not want to meet with people who disagree with her. So here she is giving a shout out to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, because this is what we're talking about here.
I know you've been invited by, I think, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, I think Nancy Pelosi. Shout out
AOC.
So does that mean, is that an invitation you're taking up?
I think everyone is interested in going to Washington. I think we've always been interested in going to Washington. This is such a special moment for us, and to be able to, sort of leverage this movement and talk about the things that we want to talk about, and to celebrate like this with the leaders of our country is an incredible moment.
Okay, and then she continued by suggesting that she didn't want to meet with the Trump administration. So instead of everybody celebrating together, or maybe her making her point to, people who disagree, maybe she could make an affirmative case. Instead, she says she's not going to meet with the administration because she doesn't want to be co-opted or used by the administration. Yes, I am sure that would have been the media coverage. Is Megan Rapinoe co-opted by President Trump? It wouldn't have been her going to the White House and then mouthing off to Trump about equal pay or something. Which is exactly what would have happened, right? That would have been, honestly, if I were her media advisor, that's what I would tell her to do. Accept the invitation from the Trump White House, go there, and then make a comment directly to Trump's face about equal pay, right? That would be the smartest thing for her to do. She's not going to do that.
Yeah, I don't think anyone on the team has any interest in lending the platform that we've worked so hard to build, and the things that we fight for, and the way that we live our life. I don't think that we want that to be co-opted or corrupted by this administration.
And going to the White House would be, in your opinion, risk co-opting or corrupting your message?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's an opportunity for this administration to sort of put us on display as their sort of guest for the day. And I don't think that makes sense for us at all.
Okay, so quick correction. She went to a public high school, not a private high school. Doesn't change the general point. She's lived a pretty good life. She also said in this interview that she had an immense sense of pride and responsibility by kneeling during the national anthem. Nothing says pride and responsibility quite like kneeling during the national anthem of a country that has fought for your right to be an incredibly famous person based on kicking a ball and having the proper leftist messaging. Also, Megan Rapinoe suggested that she would only meet with people who agree with her. So she said she would go to D.C. and have a substantive conversation with, quote, anyone who believes the same things we believe in. yes, wow, doing amazing work on behalf of her perspective by meeting with people who already agree with her. Really, really tremendous stuff. The best part of this Megan Rapinoe interview is that she was asked how fans can support the fight for equal pay. Her answer is just incredible.
In the moments immediately following the final whistle, you get that USA, USA chant, but equal pay along that same cadence.
Yeah.
I think fans want to know what they can do to support that fight.
Fans can come to games. Obviously, the national team games will be a hot ticket. But we have 9 teams in the NWSL. You can go to your league games. You can support that way. You can, buy players' jerseys. You can lend your support in that way. You can tell your friends about it. You can become season ticket holders. I think in terms of that, that's the easiest way for fans to get involved.
Oh, you mean that fans can actually create the economic incentives for you to get paid more? You mean that capitalism can actually raise your pay? So what you're saying is that the reason you're not getting equal pay right now is because you're not making equal money for your league, and the best way for you to raise your pay would be for people to come and purchase tickets and memorabilia from your team, which suggests that this isn't about sexism at all. This is about you just complaining about sexism for publicity. It's just this sort of stuff, and there's no follow-up there at all, of course. And Rachel Maddow is never going to do the follow-up. That's who's interviewing her there. Rachel Maddow is never going to say to Megan Rapinoe, so you're saying capitalism can actually increase your pay. That's never going to be a thing that anyone on the left asks. Instead, we all have to pretend that this is all normal and that it's not divisive at all and that truly she's a hero to everyone. Absolute silliness. Absolute silliness. And bad for the country, by the way. When even the stuff that we take a break with, sporting, is turned into this, it's pretty obnoxious.